How you doing, fam bam? This is Chris Mizzer here. I'm here to talk to you about PC handheld consoles, especially that Asus has announced Asus's Rog Ally, which is going to be their handheld console that is going to be released. And this is no joke. They really mean that they are going to compete against Steam Deck and Ayaneo's 2. Is it going to really be that much of a competitor, and should we take it seriously when it comes to PC handheld markets? First off, I want to go over Steam Deck. Valve's Gabe Newsom really gave a heartfelt announcement when he did bring out Steam Deck, because he really wanted to focus his Steam Deck on the price point, which is why you can get a Steam Deck for only $399 USD. Of course, they have other variants where it goes from $399, $649, and I believe the highest tier is $949 or $849 USD. Spec-wise, it does features AMD's Zen 2 processor, which has a standard clock of 2.6 gigahertz and a boost clock of 3.4 gigahertz. It does have LPDDR5 that goes up to 16 gigabytes. The storage is where you pay more money when it comes to Steam Deck. So it has a 256 gigabyte, 512 gigabyte, all the way up to 1 terabyte. The display is a 7-inch display, and it is rather wide since it is about nearly 12 inches a foot, and it weighs about 1.5 pounds. Sure, it is an unwieldy animal, and it is new to portable PC gaming, and no, it was never meant to be a real competitor against something like Nintendo Switch and PS Vita. Like, anybody plays PS Vita anymore, and Nintendo Switch is not the competitor of Steam Deck. Everything else that goes against console gaming, really, it's supposed to be a PC gaming device. Now, it does have nice features where it has solid controls similar to Xbox, and you do have the left trigger, right trigger, and the back paddles as well. And it does have a touch panel on this device. It also doesn't just feature Windows on there. Instead, it actually has Linux, which plays Steam Windows games, ironically. And it has been a great performer, but the biggest complaint when it comes to it is when you play retro games on the device, because it doesn't work really 100% of the time. And there is also another device which pretty much competes directly against it, which has much more better specifications, as AMD's Ryzen 7 6800U processor built into it. It even has AMD Radeon graphics in it. It also has LPDDR5 of up to 32 gigabytes, and it goes up to 2 terabytes in storage. It does have a 7-inch display, and it has 800p up to 1200p displays. Now, both devices are 60 Hz at the most when you do play either device, and the biggest problem when it comes to the both of them is the battery life. You're playing a PC game in a device that's probably about this big. It's hard to compare a Switch which can last about maybe 5 or 6 hours compared to a PC portable device such as Steam Deck or Ayaneo's 2. It's going to draw a lot of power from either device. Now, Ayaneo's 2, you can set it to either 22 watt or even up to 33 watt, and that is what really drains the device, especially if you're pushing it at 60 Hz. A lot of people try to control it with the smart TDP software, which kind of controls the battery life, but then it renders the games kind of hard to play any games on that device. Now, with Ayaneo's 2, the pricing is a lot higher. You're going to $949 USD, even all the way up to nearly $1,300 USD when it comes to a portable handheld device. Now, Steam Deck is a much more attractive option, obviously, because of the pricing, and it is very playable, and it plays most games well at 60 Hz. Some games you have to set the frequency a little bit lower in order to save battery life, and it is amazing. It plays a lot of games really well, such as Resident Evil 2 or any other modern PC games. Even Cyberpunk 2077 works really well on Steam Deck. But on Ayaneo's 2 device, it doesn't play as well, even though the specifications are better. Now, the OS in Ayaneo's 2 is Windows. It is glitchy when you try to open up games. A lot of games end up crashing, or you get a black screen where you're forced to restart your device. Now, enough about both of those products. We're really here about Asus's Rog Ally and how much better will this device actually be. Asus did announce that its pricing is what everybody's looking at. Everybody's looking at the pricing because that is the most important selling point when it comes to PC gaming handheld devices. Asus did announce that it is supposed to be really competitively priced. It didn't say against Ayaneos 2 or either Steam Deck, but it's going to be really hard to compete against Steam Deck because of its $399 pricing. The reason why I say that is because Asus did announce that it will feature Zen 4's APU, which is custom built for Ally, which is supposed to be the newest processor that AMD has. The APU will also have a dedicated graphics where it's going to focus on its Radeon counterpart, LPDDR5, which is expected to be about 32 gigabytes. It's probably going to have a 16 gigabyte variant, and then more than likely the storage device can probably go up to 1 to 2 terabytes. What really impresses me about this device is that Asus's ROG Ally does have a 7-inch display, like both of its competitors where they're IPS displays. Now, I'm not too sure if it's going to be IPS, and more than likely it is, but if it does go OLED, that is a major selling point when it comes to gaming, such as games such as Resident Evil 2, where it is very dark and it's going to be hard to play outside on a very sunny day. So you don't want to run into problems like that. Asus's ROG Ally will feature a 7-inch display, but at 120 Hz with 5 milliseconds input lag, which is really impressive for a small device. My real question is about the device is how well will the battery take that type of refresh rate? Will it be able to play for a couple hours, or will you just drain the battery down to just 1 hour of gameplay? And that's something that we don't really want to see in our device. Mainly because it is handheld, you just want it to have 3 things. You just want the value to be there. You want the longevity to be there when you're in gaming on a handheld device. And the most important of all is how reliable it is when it launches PC games on that device. More than likely, Asus's ROG Ally will launch Windows with the device, where you can play with other launchers such as Steam and EA, whatever their device is, which everybody's trying to claim that it is better than Steam, which personally I don't think it is. And it is really important for the reliability of the device to actually show. The really cool part about ROG's device is I really like the display on it and how it has the LEDs or the RGB LEDs around the joystick, similar to Ayaneo's device, but Ayaneo's device does have all effect joysticks on there, which is a really nice feature for it to have, which is supposed to prevent any type of drift effect when it comes to the joysticks, unlike the Joy-Con controllers. As you all know, if you have a Nintendo Switch, that is a common issue for it to have. Steam Deck is also a reliable product when it comes to their variant, and the USB-C outlets that they both have are pretty excellent, especially if you're trying to connect either a keyboard, especially a TKL keyboard or a mouse, to either device. Now, Asus's ROG Ally will have that, and that on top of it, you can even add a external GPU, which is going to be really hard to justify the pricing when it comes to a really competitive price, because you're talking about really decent APU that it's supposed to have as M4 APU, and then on top of that, if you decide to connect a RTX 4090E GPU to the device, we all know that it's going to be well over the price of probably both Steam Deck and Ayaneo combined. But more than likely, it's not going to include the eGPU. If you do plan to purchase the eGPU, plan to spend a lot of money, because it is not going to be a cheap GPU to purchase, especially with the handheld console. And then on top of it, what is the point of buying a GPU if you can just have a simple desktop PC where you have everything built in? Personally, I much rather upgrade to a OLED monitor than actually purchase a handheld PC device. It is an abomination of PC gaming. So that's just my personal opinion on it. I can see the benefits of it, don't get me wrong. I would love to play retro PC games on these consoles. Steam also has that problem when it comes to their devices playing retro games, and maybe Asus will find a way to be able to manage that. It is estimated to be 589 ounces, and the size of it is almost similar to Steam Deck. it's probably going to be just an inch smaller than it. And hopefully it is not as unwielding as a Steam Deck or Ayaneo's device, because it is, again, a PC handheld console in your hand, which is supposed to be made portable. What is more interesting about this device is that because Asus did announce that it is supposed to be very competitive against the other handheld devices, it is supposed to be a lot more quiet because it does feature dual fans in the device. Because it is going to require much more power, and as you know, if the Zen 4 processors are meant to create power without actually withdrawing too much power, it's kind of ironic or oxymoron, if anything, that it's going to take more wattage, but it's also going to be able to, it's also going to power save on that side of things. My question is how well will the power go when you're trying to play at 120 hertz with dual fans running on the device? Sure, it's going to keep it cooler, but will it really help on the battery saving side? So there is a lot of contradiction when it comes to it, and until the device actually gets more information that can be shared and would be interesting enough to look into, I would love to share it with you guys. So FanBam guys, what are your thoughts about Asus's Rog Ally? I hope you found this content very useful. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you know anybody else who is into PC portable gaming, make sure you share this video with them. And also, if not part of the big wonderful FanBam, make sure you go down and hit the subscribe button for more, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. And for all the newest updates, make sure you follow my Twitter handle right here, as it is the same as my TikTok and IG as well. So FanBam guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think.